So I picked up a new BL drama last week. It's titled TopForm, and it is a Thai BL drama that has aired only 3 episodes out of the total 11 that it is supposed to have. So it's pretty new, it's ongoing, and I love it so much. I like sometimes I just get obsessed with the drama and I can't do anything else. I was the same with Tempo. And while this is not on Tempo level because Tempo speaks to me kind of in this emotional way, this drama is still really good. I like the premise of it. I like the story they are trying to tell. I like obsessed male leads. Like I like my male lead to be a little crazy. That's kind of why I like Ming from My Stand-In. And characters like that, just there's something about it. They are obviously no one wants that in real life, but this is fantasy, this is pretend world, and I don't know, just something about it that speaks to me, and I love the toxicity of it all. So this drama kind of has that. For those who don't know, basically Top Form follows Jin and Akin. Akin is a well-known, well-established, popular actor in this world, and Jin is a newbie. He is an emerging actor that kind of meets Akin and just falls in love with him very quickly. It was almost like love at first sight from what the drama shows us, right? And unfortunately for Akin, Jin is kind of on the crazy part. Like he's on the obsessed like scale. He's pretty like up there, right? So he's trying his best to be popular and to be well known and to be a big deal, just because he wants to like stand beside Akin, who is, I guess that's his like idol. That's someone he looks up to and he like likes him a lot, right? And so he's doing all these things and gaining this popularity, just to be like, okay, I'm on the same level as you. Let's like be together, I guess. Right. The thing is that from Akin's point of view, though, for an actor that's popular and everything, it seems like he's encroaching on his space, right? He's basically taking like, I guess, commercials that he would normally have, and he's becoming the more popular one as time goes, and almost at a faster meteoric like pace. Akin holds, I think, resentment from what I've seen in the first 3 episodes. He holds that resentment about that fact that this like newbie that he acted with like early on is becoming this big of a deal, right? But at the same time, like Jin, obviously this is not actually Jin's intention. This is not Jin's goal. Jin's goal is to have Akin, like literally, right? So that is kind of the world they are in, and watching them go through that and watching Akin fall in love with Jin because Jin is very persistent, and the challenges they face in the entertainment industry, and being a couple possibly, right, in this world where it's not really a thing, right? It's kind of taboo, right? So that is what the story is about. And honestly, it's a good premise. I like this kind of premise. It's funny because I just finished watching Tempo recently, right? And this is another showbiz like drama, and I do like the fact that like Thailand does a lot of this showbiz, and I give us like a look into this world. I will say that Top Form is entirely unrealistic as opposed to Tempo in every way, right? The way Jane rises in like popularity is not really touched upon the way Tempo, like that was the basis of the old drama, right? In this one it's kind of used as a plot device to just show that like Akin is going to have a problem with that, and that kind of thing. So it's interesting how like two dramas can use showbiz in two completely different ways, but I love it all the same. I like how they are showing that, because not necessarily do I want to see everything and how everything works and how realistic it is. Sometimes I just want to see it for the for the plot device it is, and for the fact that it's just going to further the story that we have, right? So I like the fact that it's brief, they're not really focusing on that part, right, of the entertainment industry. I think they will focus on the part of them being a couple and how they tackle with that down the line, but it's still a very like heavily fantasy kind of idea. It's not grounded in reality in any way, and yeah, I like it. I watched the first 3 episodes, and then, or maybe it was the first 2 episodes, and then I immediately went to go and watch the trailer because I had not watched the trailer before that, right? And honestly, It's so good. Like the trailer is is something else, guys. Like when you talk about like heat index, like in terms of how like hot it's gonna get, like how hot and heavy it's gonna get. I think this one is like it's like a solid 10, right? Like this one is really eye up there, right? And so I am honestly looking forward to that. That is something that I'm like looking forward, because next episode, episode 4, most likely that's what's like they've hinted at that, right? In the teaser for episode 4. So like why I'm watching this. Right, but no, honestly though, I think that this drama in just 3 episodes I've watched is good enough. Like I won't say that it's perfect, I won't say that it's even like high quality. Like I can see some shoddy camera work here and there, but genuinely because maybe they're adapting from a manga that is Japanese, it's kind of a difficult thing to adapt, but they do a good job in adapting it into the Thai world, right? And so I like that about this, right? So even though, yeah, there are moments where I'm like, the camera could be better, and this is just coming from a mind of someone that's watched TV our whole life, right? I can kind of see where they could do things better, but still I recognize that like it can't be perfect. So I'm very happy with how it is as is. And so far it keeps being this awesome and amazing. I don't have a problem. I even feel like it's too short. I feel like this could have been longer. It's like 45 minutes per episode, and that's terrible. I need it to be like an hour 30 minutes. Right, it goes by so quickly. But yeah, now that I've given like a general overview of how I feel about this drama, I just want to talk about some specifics and like run through like scenes in the drama so far that I have liked, that are kind of interesting, right? So one thing that I find interesting in this drama is the character of Jin and how he's portrayed at the beginning, right? So Jin is this kind of person that, as he is like managers at the time are talking about, they mentioned that like he seems emotionless, it seems like he doesn't really have any thoughts, he seems like a robot, it seems like an alien that like jumped out of like a different planet and just landed on Earth. It doesn't seem like he has any like real passion, right? And honestly, that is a good intro to a character that is about to become obsessed. Right, and so when he meets Akin for the first time, right, it's in a split second that he looks up to Akin and he falls in love, like deeply in love, like like first love at first sight kind of thing, right? And it's interesting because the character of Jin has this atypical characteristic in that, like, anytime he's next to Akin, once in a while he will get this like wings. I still don't know really what the wings are supposed to be, but I find it interesting that they pop up every time he's like near Akin, right? So I think I've seen it like once or twice. The first time is like where Akin like almost get injured, right? And he like runs and he like saves him, right? And the other time is when in episode 3, when he's meeting Akin after like 1 year, how many days, 15 days, something minutes or whatever, however he said it, right? Basically he'd been counting down the days and the years since he last like saw Akin, right? And in that scene too, he asks Akin like, what time did you wake up, or something like that, and the wings pop out. There's something about it that's very cute, a little devilish, but I really like it. There's something just like, I don't know. So yeah, his character is almost otherworldly. He doesn't seem like he's grounded to the earth. I would have said he was on the spectrum, but like subsequent episodes after episode 1, he seems kind of like maybe not. Like I don't know. Like I had that thought at first, but I think that in episode 1 that was just the fact that he was like fish out of water in like an uncomfortable like situation, acting for the first time and everything, and that's why I was acting that way. But like at first that's what I thought, that like, oh okay, maybe he is on the spectrum, but I'm not so sure now. But anyways, yeah, so he locks in on Akin, and from that moment everything he does is to kind of be on the same level, and to get Akin to see him as kind of an equal, right? Obviously he has an end goal, which is to like but it's kind of cute how he's this in love with this person, and he's willing to do anything and be anything for him, right? Akin is a little different in that I think that he is more guarded. He is somebody that has been acting for a long time. So I mean, being in this industry and taking this kind of job seriously, I think seeing someone like Jin come in and just take over, even though he's not working anywhere near as hard as he has to get where he did, it's kind of frustrating, right? And so seeing Jin rise up with half of what he did to get there, it's kind of like it's very annoying kind of, right? And I can understand his perspective and why he doesn't really like Jin, right? I like how his character has his own values. There are some things he won't do. There are some companies he will not join, and he doesn't really budge on that. I like the fact that he is serious about acting. This is something that he takes very seriously. And so in episode 1, when when Jin is messing up like half the time, right, he's very angry about it, right? But even still, at some point, when they're in the bus, he takes his time to kind of like get Jin to understand how acting works, right? And I really, really like that about him. Like, his character is well formed. And honestly, I just have to say, quick like segue. Boom, who plays Akin, he's one of the most handsome men I've ever seen, in like a pretty way, but not because like he's androgynous, or I don't know how to explain it, but he reminds me of like Pom from My Stand-In. They just have really expressive faces, right? And so when I see him, I'm like, this is a very beautiful man. That's really the word. He's beautiful, right? And I can sit down and just watch him. He's easily like he's just easily the best actor in this. Like, he is very good at emoting, right? Like, even though his role is to be like Akin, that is a veteran actor, he really plays that well, right? Like, he seems like he's been acting for forever, right? He's very good at it. So I just want to say that I absolutely just like enthralled with Boom, that actor, and I might go check out his other works. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at the beginning. Akin is kind of reluctant in how he feels about Jin. He doesn't really like him. He thinks he's problematic. He thinks he's just this random, I guess, pretty face. I mean, he calls him a 7, but like, you get the idea that he thinks that Jin is not serious about anything, and especially not about acting, right? There are moments where Jin impresses him, but still, like, overall, he finds, I think, Jin to be just like this wooden boy, as he says, right? So yeah, that's kind of their dynamic going in, right? I think the scene that really solidifies like Jin's affection for Akin is when he kind of teaches him how to like cry for the advertisement, right? The advertisement scene, right? And that was the scene that I think Jin really like felt something. I mean, the first scene is still like love at first sight, but that was the scene I think that they had this quick bond that I think also affected Akin in the way that like he wasn't earlier the way Jin was initially, right? So I think that was that scene that kind of like changed his like view a little about Jin, right? And so yeah, I really like that scene. It was also a really funny scene because I've always wondered about like Thai dramas, because Thai dramas for some reason they always have like the like most awkward placement for their like ads, right? For like their products that they're advertising. They will have like the character holding in such an awkward way that it's not natural to the scene. And I always wondered why they do that. So seeing this scene and seeing the person from the advertisement company come and kind of like reject all their scenes that they've tried to shoot is actually like eye opening for me, because it makes so much sense now why things are always awkwardly placed. I don't know why they won't take a book out of like Korean drama, because Korean dramas are able to do that in a more, not that it's not still there, but it's almost seamless in the way that I can watch a Korean drama and be like, I do not recall what the ad was. Even though like obviously there are some really popular ads like Kopiko, right, and Subway that like that's what you're seeing, right? That's what you're getting. But still, the way they would do it, it's very seamless that it doesn't like take you out of the story the way I think Thai dramas haven't figured out yet. Thai dramas will have the camera focus exclusively on the product, and even maybe sometimes like blur everything else in a scene just to show that product, right? That doesn't happen in like Korean dramas. In Korean dramas, it just is seamlessly like integrated into the scene. Maybe like a character just drinking that like juice that is like obviously like sponsored or something like that, but it's in a way that like, yeah, it's there, it's like, being held by the actor or anything, but it's not like like how like regular commercials on TV will have like the like actors in those commercials like put the product to your face or to the camera, and it's like, oh, like some drink, right? And so you see that like clearly, right? And he like blurs the background of the like actor, and you're only seeing that drink. That's kind of what it reminds me of when I see Thai product placement. So they could do better. And but anyway, that scene was really helpful for me to kind of understand what was going on, because I could not understand why they did it that way. So yeah, that was one thing that I appreciated its existence. But yeah, moving on. Another impressive scene to me, even though it was a little contrived, was the scene where Akin faints, right? So Akin faints, and Jin is the only one there, and Jin takes him to the hospital on his motorbike. That's the part that was contrived to me, because it's like, how was he able to do that, given the fact that like that person is like unconscious. There's no way you'll be able to like put him on your bike and drive to like the hospital, right? But that's what spurs him to want to get a car and to ask Jin what color he likes the most, or ask in a poll, what color should I get, right? Knowing that most likely Akin is the only one in that like chat. So it's a very interesting, clever way he did that. I really like that. It's very cheeky. But yeah, I think that Jin's personality is also kind of revealed in that hospital scene where he, kisses Akin. Akin pretends obviously that he's kind of unconscious, but he's not, right? But that's the scene where Jin like lays a kiss on him, and he's like, I will basically catch up to you and be by your side, right? And it just shows you kind of the level of obsession his character is going to have, right? And I am, unfortunately, I hate to say it, I am one for a toxic male lead. Like I said, I am one for a male lead that is kind of like on the fringe, which is why I really, really liked Ming from my standing, right? So when I said, I was like, yeah, this is just the drama for me. Like sometimes I don't know, he works and sometimes he doesn't. In this case he does, right? But yeah, that is another thing that was kind of pretty interesting, and just speaks to kind of the dynamic they'll probably have, with Jin kind of being the one to direct most of the relationship, because I think Akin is more guarded, like I said, right? So I find it interesting, and I look forward to how that's gonna play out. But anyways, after that, Jin signs to a company, and he blows, right? Um, it's funny because in that scene where he has like the interview, and he's talking about how he really, 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 really likes Akin, and how he's confessing his love for him and all that good stuff, and he's like, by the way, it seems that he doesn't follow you on like Instagram or whatever like social media, and Ginny's like, yeah, he doesn't, blah blah blah. But like I find that scene very, very funny, because like this guy is basically on live TV, right? On TV talking about his crush, and I find like I don't know how, but this is the level of obsession I'm talking about. This obsession is like it's a problem, like, because he's like genuinely only doing everything he does for Akin's attention, right? And honestly, I love it. I love it so much. But yeah, that is basically all I have to say about this drama at this point. There's obviously a lot going on and a lot that we can look forward to. But generally I think that so far this drama is like exceeding in how it's portraying Jin, and how like you kind of understand his motive. His motives are a little obsessive and kind of like creepy, but like you kind of understand, like, okay, he likes this person and he's doing everything he can to be near this person, right? Akin too is very interesting because he's not there yet, but I imagine once he gets there, it's gonna be interesting, right? One thing I would say I'm looking forward to, like I said, is those scenes, right? Because like, come on, I saw the trailer and the honey scene, guy. The honey scene, like who else is waiting for that? I am so waiting for that. I want to see how they're gonna shoot that, honestly, because that looks like a lot, right? Like it looks like you could either that could either go really well or really badly. So I do think it will go well because the characters do have chemistry. Oh, they have such good chemistry. That like I think it's gonna go well. And I look forward to that. But yeah, I really just really like this drama. I really thought I would not find anything to watch after Tempo, but this has saved me. Really, this has been it for me. So yeah, I really really like this drama so far, and I look forward to more episodes soon. And that's where I'll stop today. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. I'll talk to you guys again next week. Have a lovely one. Bye.